If you're a mid-level to C-suite leader who wants to own your growth and figure out your next small, brave move to achieve your leadership goals, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Small Brave Moves podcast, a weekly deep dive on how to be braver in leadership and in life for exceptional results. I'm your host, Nicole Bianchi, best-selling author, certified master executive coach, NSA certified speaking professional, chief bravery officer, and tough talk expert. If you're ready to become a better, braver, and more authentic leader, let's dive in. Welcome back to the Small Brave Moves podcast. I am beyond lucky to have such an inspiring guest this week. She's built a company from the ground up on the belief that most brands get backwards, that authority isn't something you earn after people notice you. It's something you build before anyone ever asks for it. Christina Pilarski is the CEO and co-founder of CIPR Communications, a digital PR, marketing, and AI consulting agency, serving tourism destinations and hospitality brands all across North America. She left a corporate communications career in 2010 to build something on her own and has spent the last 15 years turning big visions into systems that actually work. But in this conversation, we flip the script because the woman who helps brands show up with authority has had her own very honest reckoning with what it means to claim it for herself, letting go of 40 client projects that she was personally managing, admitting to her team that she was at this crossroads, and learning that the leader who shows up with flow and ease had to first stop trying to control everything. This one is for every high-performing woman who's standing in her own way. Please help me welcome Christina Pilarski to the podcast. I am so excited to have you here and doing this deep conversation about conquer yourself and making some small, brave moves.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm so excited to be here. I mean, it's like a little reunion for us. I feel like the last time we had a really great connection point was obviously following the retreat that I was on. And now it's almost my next check-in with you.
It does feel like that. It does feel like that. You dropped into my life about 7-8 months ago. We got to build this amazing relationship. So I'm excited to have you here and to listen to some wisdom for you to share with us as well.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
She's amazing, everyone. Just wait. So, Christina, you help brands build authority before anyone asks for it. But I want to flip that. Where in your own life have you had to build authority within yourself before you even felt ready for that?
This goes all the way back to when I decided I was going to go do my own thing. And so you have this moment of, okay, I'm unhappy in my corporate role. And I think, Nicole, we have very similar stories in terms of our evolution in terms of the corporate world. I remember sitting there with my husband and going, it's not working anymore. This is not where I'm supposed to be. And it was conversation after conversation every night. And I feel like he finally got, I don't know if he got sick of it, but he was like, okay, well, make the brave move, right? Do the thing. Yeah. And I said, okay. And most people would walk in and give 2 weeks notice. And I gave a month because I just felt so scared of what was next. I was going into this land of uncertainty, but I really used the time to have conversations, right? So people who I worked with years ago that had done the same thing, people that I had worked with in terms of their capacity as a consultant. And I kind of patchworked my way of, okay, I think this is now what I'm going to do when I leave. And so fast forward, I've kind of done a few stints and a few contracts, and I'm this one-woman show. And I remember landing one of my first big communications marketing strategies with a great company that I knew was in my niche, knew where I wanted to be. And I was writing the strategy, and I'm writing the email, and I'm reading it back, and everywhere in that email it said, I think this, I think that. I'm reading it back and I'm like, wow, I'm not really inspiring confidence in anyone. And so it was even just that mental note of going, no, you don't think. Your experience has shown. It was this almost, I definitely didn't feel like I had the authority yet, but it was that step back and that grounding myself in, no, these people, whether I believe it or not, have seen something in me that they need. And so I need to step up and give them the assurance that I do know what I'm talking about to
Mhm.
be able to move this forward. And so for me, that was okay, I'm the authority now. I've got
Mhm.
it. I don't think I know. Here I am. Let's go. So it was really the brave move and stepping out. And then you take these brave moves and sometimes you're not quite sure of them. You needed to. And then it was like, okay, where do I need to show up with authority and just do the damn thing as opposed to being worried about it?
Do the damn thing. I love that. It's interesting because when you're building something from that place, there's usually a need to hold it all together too.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, as the high achieving female, there is that unspoken pressure around, I know what's next, or I know what to do in this situation, or it's all going to be okay. Even the amount of conversations I had, even just today, with team members who are looking for me to know.
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't know, but it's the vulnerability in those conversations that allows me to show up as a better leader.
Mhm. Mhm. I like that. It's interesting because so many times they do look to us as if we have all the answers, right? And there's an element of just authenticity when people talk about like, hey, I'm nervous too, I'm not sure, or we'll figure it out together, or we'll find a way. I mean, all of those different things. So I love that. So I want to shift just a little bit into your role and talk about as someone who leads an agency who turns vision into systems, where is control shown up in a way that may have actually slowed things down for you?
Yeah. I mean, there's such a difference between being the boss and being the leader,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I look back at it's going on probably a decade ago now when I started building my team.
Mhm.
And I will sometimes scroll all the way back in the Instagram feed once upon a time, a long time ago. And I go, wow, I had to have my eyes on every single piece of content that left the building, the virtual building or the theoretical building, or I felt like my stamp needed to be on it all. And
Yeah.
man, did it slow down our progress, right? You think
Yeah.
about the amount of client outputs or even the outputs in terms of our own marketing where I became the block because not only did I have work to do, not only did I have a business to run, but now all of a sudden I felt this responsibility that because my name's on the door, everything has to have my eyeball on it. And I think for me, what transformed my thinking there was a little bit around systems and process, right?
Mhm.
So if the right systems and processes are in place, and if those systems and processes match the Christina
Yeah.
standards,
Yes.
then it should be fine. And it's funny, especially on the social media side, I see it with a lot of leaders still who struggle with the letting go of I got to look at every single content piece that leaves the building. And I'm like, you're the CEO. You shouldn't be looking at that. I actually really love now when I'm scrolling and I see a new CIPR post. I get really excited about it because I'm like, okay, what did my team do today? Or last month, one of our team members, Allie, she said, okay, everyone send a baby picture in. And I thought, oh my gosh, what are they up to now? And so I rifled through pictures and sent a baby picture. And then a week later, there's this amazing social media post with the whole team's baby pictures cycling through. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't need to have my fingers on it. But I look at it and I go, hey, that does speak to who I am and the culture
Yeah.
I've built. And I don't need to be in the way.
Right.
Do your thing, right?
Yeah. I love that. And it comes at a cost when we're trying to control. And I know control shows up internally, but visibility is where it can show up externally for us. And it's a journey. I'll tell you, I still have to remind myself sometimes, release control, Nicole. It's not for you to be messing around with. In fact, I'm coaching a CEO who's working on delegating things deeper into the organization. And his imagery is, Nicole, I'm looking at this going, this needs to go to somebody at a very different level that can take this and run with it and do so much more than I ever could. And I'm like, you're exactly right. So you're talking about building authority before it's asked for. Where did you personally hold back from being maybe fully visible or saying what you actually believed?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know this. It took me a long time to even step into saying, I am the CEO. I've got this. right? I
Yeah.
think there is this pressure that we put on ourselves. I struggled for a long time to put CEO on a business card because I didn't feel like I was there. And I remember a colleague saying to me, it was actually really funny. They said, I have this prospect and they want to talk to the CEO, but we don't have one. And we all kind of paused and everyone's looking at me. And I'm going, oh, well, I guess I'm the CEO. I guess they need to talk to me.
Yeah.
And so the title thing has always been interesting to me and one that I've really embraced, especially since the work that we did on my Brave mantra and moving forward. But I think the other place for me, so my personality type, I'm a Capricorn, I'm an Enneagram 8, I'm
Yeah.
a disc D, high D. And so
Yeah.
like vulnerability is not my thing.
Yeah.
Making mistakes really isn't my thing. My mom will joke I was the little boss even at 4 years old. Like I showed up as the
Yeah.
CEO even in those circumstances. I remember pretending I was doing these fancy reports and all these things when other kids were just having the tea party. I'm drawing a chart of something in my imagination.
Oh, I can relate to this so much. Yes.
But for me, it is that every day reminding myself that showing up authentically and vulnerably is what
Yeah.
is going to make me the leader that stands out. I was actually talking to a member of my leadership team this morning who has the same personality traits as I do, meaning we get along really well and understand each other, but coaching them through some of the interesting pieces that they're now facing with their team and explaining to them, hey, like I know it sucks to be the one to say that you don't know, or that, hey, you're having a hard day, or ooh, I feel frazzled. But your team is going to appreciate that because they don't want to work for the robot. They want to
Yeah.
work for the person. And
Exactly. Yeah.
it's really been key for me to continue to do that, especially actually one of the stories that I share after the retreat that I went on, because I obviously went with that big question around what's next for me in my career.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had grappled with some of those things with you. Okay, where do I want to be? What am I situating myself with? And when I came back, I was really honest with some of my female leaders in terms of the joke around, was it my midlife crisis or this grappling I was doing with, did I want to be here anymore? And it really shocked a few people to learn that. And I feel like it created this renewed sense of confidence in me because
Yeah.
they knew I had almost recommitted. I had redone my vowels. There was a vowel renewal between me and the business. And I went, okay, you're in it.
Yeah.
We know you're there. We know you're present. This was good. And so it became this really scary thing to tell people that I was at a crossroads, which really turned into them now having more faith in my ability to get it all done. Because
Yeah.
I said, I'm the CEO. I'm here. I'm doing it.
Yeah. You stepped so boldly into that authority without question. And for those listening, what Christina's talking about is she came to the Brave Leadership Retreat in Siesta Key, which is a place for high performing executive women to pause and really think about that next chapter that they want to intentionally step into. And the other thing I want to share, so you said Enneagram 8, which is challenger, right? And then her other part was D, which is dominance driver on the disc. And so when you have those two pieces, vulnerability is very tough for those two. So I just want to highlight those two things for people listening that don't know what the Enneagram 8 is. But let's talk a little bit more about the retreat, because what's interesting is we're talking about visibility and control in business, but I saw a different side of this when you were at the Brave Leadership Retreat in Siesta Key. So talk to me about that.
Yeah. You know what I've realized I need in my life in general is those moments to stop,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the high performing executive woman, what
Yeah.
is the mental image you have when you think about that? Well, it certainly isn't someone who needs to take a break or
Right.
needs to pause or doesn't know what she's doing. And so for me to have that time of quiet reflection of, okay, this is what I'm doing and I'm here to do this. And what was really interesting was the intentional time that you would set aside in the afternoon for us, where it's a few hours by ourselves, which to me could have been the real easy way to default into all the habits I was coming to break. So it was
Yeah.
almost this real true trial by fire. Like, are you going to sit and go into the weeds of your client work when you're
Yeah.
supposed to be reflecting on yourself and doing the
Yeah.
work there? And I feel like even just in remembering that hot sunshine, sitting on the front porch, and I just sat and thought,
Right.
okay, how am I doing? How am I positioned? What am I excited about? What am I still questioning? And to have that quiet time without the Zoom call dinging or the notifications or the pressure of I got to hop on a call gave me this quiet space to appreciate the Christina that is the high performing executive. And I don't think that woman had appreciation in a long time, right? I think
Uh,
she had appreciation from others. But
sure.
for me, I hadn't thought about myself as that person. And I went, hey, she's like really cool. I really like her.
Yeah.
And it was nice to have the space to remind myself that I'm proud of that woman and I got to
Really. Mm,
that up.
yeah. When you were in that space, did you notice anything else about yourself that surprised you?
You know what? Again, going back to my personality type and vulnerability, just how
Mhm.
quickly I was able to step in this space of here's the problem, help me.
Yeah.
Other people tell me what to do, tell me how you've solved these things. Like just that openness, I think surprised me. I think that was probably what I was most concerned about because I really wanted to get the most out of the experiences possible. I knew I was going to be the one to stand in my way. And so
Yeah.
to me to show up at I think the first night, the first dinner, and what did I tell everyone? I said, I think I'm having a midlife crisis, is what I do at the table. Everyone, here I am. And it worked out well.
It absolutely did. Well, even just sharing that helps people understand like how you're coming in and you're starting to reveal what you're dealing with. Number one, we all came in with very different things that we were dealing with. And I so appreciated how you just came all in. So I just so appreciate that. And because of that, you were able to go through your own transformation, right? That allowed you to get to the other side and be really clear on what you wanted to step into, which I just so appreciate. Hey, senior women leader, if you're the one everyone depends on, the one leading the team, carrying the pressure, managing the expectations, solving the problems, and quietly holding it all together while feeling completely exhausted underneath it all, I want you to know I get that. I've been there too. And more importantly, you don't have to keep leading this way. And that's why I created the Brave Lead Her Ship Retreat experience. My retreats are intimate, luxurious, and deeply transformational, designed for the high-performing women leader who are ready to reclaim their energy, elevate their leadership, and stop overfunctioning their way through life and work. It's not a conference, it's not surface level networking or another room where you have to perform, prove, or hold everything together. It's a deeply curated circle where you get to breathe, be held, think clearly again, reconnect with yourself, and grow alongside some extraordinary women leaders who truly understand the weight that you carry. Every detail is intentionally designed to support that, from the luxurious accommodations to the all-inclusive experience to the executive level coaching, brave conversations, integration time, and restorative wellness experiences woven throughout the retreat. You'll walk away with greater clarity, stronger boundaries, renewed energy, and a completely different way of leading that your team and your family will feel immediately. If that sounds exactly what you need right now, I'd love to personally invite you to explore one of my upcoming retreats at the link in the show notes. Maybe I'll see you soon in the rolling hills of Tuscany or on the quartz sand beaches of Siesta Key, or maybe even in the energy vortex of Sedona. I'd be honored to hold space for you at the next Brave Leadership Retreat. So think about what's one small brave move you've made that created a bigger shift than you expected.
It is this continued release of the client everyday work. I built the business on my reputation, on my expertise. And it sounds so funny to say that now because the team of experts that have chosen to surround me and be a part of CIPR are incredible. And so my name's on the door still, but it's not my expertise at the table. That's not my expertise that's bringing people back. But back when I started, that was my real fear. And so I'm project managing every client. I think at the height of my unhealthy leadership behavior, I had like 40 clients that I was project managing. It's not sustainable.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But this fear of I got to be a part of it because they've signed the contract because they thought they're getting me. And so the detachment of that was obviously in progress before the retreat. And now I can safely say I don't manage any projects. Those are the teams, and I have a big job. Like the CEO is a busy lady, and she needs to stay focused there, or the cart's going to fall off the tracks. So, to me, the brave move I'm choosing every day still is delegate that client stuff, delegate the weeds, help, obviously, be the sounding board, be the leader, but don't get caught up. Keep moving forward.
It goes back to what we're choosing to hold on to and what we're willing to release, right? That's a daily choice. All right, finish this sentence for me. The moment I stopped trying to control blank, everything changed.
The moment I stopped trying to control everything changed.
That's a good point. Yes. Yes.
Because it's like there was this aspect of, okay, sales, operations, and even in my personal life, right? The mom stuff, the fitness stuff, the everything, right? And on my little water bottle, I have my flow and ease, my
There
flow
is.
and ease. And to me, that is the quintessential, I can't control everything.
Yeah.
And it's funny now, and I know that I reached these states of flow before, but now I have this word for it, which is flow. But like, then it becomes easy. I look at my day today. I started with my strong morning routine and my journaling and giving myself some of that energy and me time, and then moving through the day with purpose. And it just flows. And the day has felt easy. The day has not felt like, oh my God, my blood pressure's skyrocketing, or I've got to put out all these fires. But just allowing myself to step into this, okay, it's out of my control.
Yeah.
I got to flow. I got to go with it. That's the leader I want to be. I want to be the leader that can show up with that ease, with that grace, that's showing everyone, hey, it's a roller coaster. Hey, Mercury's in retrograde. Hey, whatever. But we're flowing through it and we're going to be fine.
Christina, this is all around conquering ourselves, not others, right? What's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody that's listening that is struggling with this in this moment? Just one piece of advice to get them moving forward. What would you share with them?
So this quote is from a really good friend of mine. And when she first said it, it was a very sarcastic remark. And the remark was, just worry about yourself. Like, don't worry about me, worry about yourself.
Yeah.
But it is something now I tell my kids. It's something I tell myself. It's something that Peter, who's my husband and business partner, and I share. But just worry about yourself. Like that's how you reach that flow and ease. And I think especially as a female executive, you take the burden of worrying about everyone else.
Right.
What's on that guy's plate? How can I help Mr. President? How can I assist Miss whoever over here? And it's just worry about yourself. Do the best you can do. Fill your cup as you need to. I think when we worry about others in an unhealthy way, because obviously we want to be empathetic and all the things, but that unhealthy worry ends up closing doors. And so to me, that would be the one-liner. Just worry about yourself and it'll start flowing.
And the reality is when we do that and we invest in ourselves, we have the highest likelihood of our best self showing up, right?
Absolutely.
Christina, you are amazing.
Oh, you are too. Oh my gosh.
I deeply appreciate you sharing the journey you've been on, how you think about it, ways we can think about it differently as well. The reality is the journey just doesn't end. We'll be in different states of flow, different states of alignment, but there's always going to be a time where we get a little out of alignment. And how do we get back to that flow state? So thank you so much, Christina. And for anybody listening, and we'll put this in the show notes, if they want to connect with you, connect with your agency, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, the best place is just go to our website. So CIPRcommunications.com. You can find me through that channel too.
Okay.
But that talks just about our journey and where we've been as an agency and what we're focusing on. And Nicole, what's really interesting to me in terms of our conversation is this word authority. And it's
Yeah.
something we're really leaning into as an agency right now is about digital authority. And never has there been a more important time to know how you want to show up in the world, because if you're not thinking about that, my goodness, the AI and the search is going to start telling people what they should think of you. And
Yeah.
so authority becomes so important. So that's really what we've been focused on lately too.
Well, absolutely. Think about it. You stepping into your authority. Now you're building the next phase of the digital authority for your business. I mean, that's powerful. So if you are interested in learning more about them or working with them, the information will be in the show notes and you can reach out to Christina's team. So thank you so much, Christina. We appreciate you. And thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. You're the best.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Small Brave Moves podcast. If you're wanting to take this work even deeper, I'm here to help. From engaging in inspirational keynote speeches to transformational coaching and workshops for leaders and teams, page-turning books, online courses, and enlightening leadership development retreats. There are so many ways that we can work together to take your leadership to the next level. For more information, check out the show notes, and let's do this together. One small brave move at a time. See you next week.